You cannot be directly descended of Marie Antoinette, but you can be indirectly descended of Marie Antoinette, like this chick in Houston. So Marie Antoinette was the daughter of the Holy Roman Emperor, and he had 16 children. So does that mean that Francis I is the ancestor of like everybody in Austria? No. Many of his children did not live to adulthood, and the ones that did not reproduce at a very high rate. So Marie Antoinette had 4 legitimate children, and then there's lots of people who like to comment about all her illegitimate children. I would say that's just a smear campaign about women, but whatever. My point is, she had no grandchildren. As a result, nobody is directly descended of her. But her brother, Leopold, became the Holy Roman Emperor, and his son, Francis II, was the last Holy Roman Emperor. And then from here, how do we get to that chick in Houston? His son had this guy who looks so happy, who had this guy who was the last Emperor of Austria. Now, where are we in history? Well, his wife, Zita, who came from Italian royalty, died in 1989. And there was enormous change in the feeling about royalty in Austria, thanks to a world war, from the time that this painting was made at the beginning of the 20th century until 1989 when she died. The story goes that they took her body on a procession. They had to get special permission from the government to have this funeral. And they go to the cemetery and they knock, and the tradition was, you would say, that the empress has arrived for her final burial. And the person at the cemetery wouldn't let her in until they knocked and said, "The sinner Zita has come." That said, her great-granddaughter, Tatiana, now lives in Houston, and she is doing just fine. She's actually also descended from the Russian royal family, and as already said, the Italian royal family, because they're all kind of intermarried. And she was working in banking, and her husband had gone to Wharton. So it turns out it's not so bad being indirectly descended of Marie Antoinette.